Hey everyone, so this is going to be my end of production little screencast that you guys asked me to put out. So I'm going to be taking you guys through the editing process and how I got everything sorted out. So this is the overarching project file. This is the one that's sort of for the whole movie, and you might be noticing, this looks rather simplistic. It's just one track and one audio track, and that's correct because I didn't want to edit everything in the same project file. What I've done is I've taken each act, this is act 1, 2, and 3, and I've taken them all and I split them into their own separate project files, which you can see. This is act 1 right here, which looks a lot more complicated by comparison. Act 2, which is even more complicated than that, and finally act 3 right here. And so effectively what I did was I took all of those, and in these I did all of the more complex editing. I did, in these we would have our shot, reverse shot. We would have, cut back and forth. This gradual process of working through all the different footage and trying to find sort of the best shot that would fit each line. And after that came adding sound effects, dubbing, music, and all of that. And it was sort of a process of working through everything very, very slowly from start to finish. I never really made a rough cut. I understand that I labeled my first export of the film a rough cut, but but you may notice the rough and final cuts are very, very similar because I never really wanted to sit down and just smack everything together and call it a rough cut. I wanted to work through and actually edit something to the extent that I would like to see it finished, and so that was just kind of my process. I would add a clip in, I would edit it and cut it down to exactly what I wanted to see in the final project, and then I would just color grade it and make sure it was looking fine within the context of the rest of the scene. And that's kind of what I did for all of this throughout acts 1, 2, and 3, and that's kind of all I really had to do. It was down to a process of just constant improvement, working through, thinking about each shot individually, what worked, what didn't, blah 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 blah, and so I'm really proud of how this turned out. I think the editing was very, very complicated, and at times, especially these shot reverse shot scenes, because one of the things that really annoyed me was how you see around here, you've got the green outline on her icon, is that would appear every time she started speaking. And so what I had to do is try to find the right project files for every time she would speak and sync it up with every time the little green ring flashed on her profile, which was a real pain, but I think I managed it for the most part. I think it worked out pretty well. So yeah, that's I don't really